ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Charlie, do you know why Thursday is the greatest night known to mankind?
Because we get to hang out with amazing people on the interwebs.
We do, and that's not just your shades. The picture just went really dark for some reason.
I know, I shall try to fix it.
Well, I don't know with your glasses of mysterious 007 style, if you can tell
Actually, I'm
these
pretty
things.
sure that the light sensor on the camera is going, holy crap, there's something reflective. We must correct it.
So it really is the fault of your glasses.
Yes,
I
yes, it
see.
is. Mm-hmm.
Way to go. So how goes it, Charlie, on this wonderful, beautiful, I find me feeling like fall Thursday?
Well, let me think about this. This is a very deep question for you to ask.
I try to hit you with the hard spots.
No, it's been bad. I mean, it's been bad. It's
Oh,
been pretty
no!
good. No, it's been
No!
bad. As many of you know, Ultimate Confusion did appear at Battle and Brew this past Saturday evening, where we got to hang out with a couple of individuals who are awesome, and we're in the Atlanta area. Went, what's up, man? And so we said, what's up?
How'd you feel about the nostalgia of Battle and Brew to see it for possibly the last time?
I was very sad, and I'm still filled with a shit ton of questions as to why the Battle and Brew is closing.
Are we not all curious of why? Because, you know, I know we talked about it before, but it's like...
That place was packed to the gills.
But it's like that always. Like,
I know.
It's not like it's out of the norm. And you see some of these other restaurants where they have like 4 patrons on a Saturday night and they stay open for years. So it's like, I have to assume there's something else going on behind the scenes that the public doesn't know about. That's the only thing I can think of.
Must be.
All I know is I wish that somehow that it could be saved. I mean, it is the 3rd owners it's been through. So it's not like another ownership people could not take over. It is possibility. Possibly. Thank you. Possibly. Wow. I haven't even drank yet. So it's just, I don't know, it makes me sad. It's such a unique institution because where else can you go and get that geeky feel, but you can also feel like I'm not living out the stereotype necessarily. It's like I'm there because I'm enjoying it. Where else can we go? Like, where's going to be the new go-to place?
Everybody's house. I know that Battle and Brew try to push off like, oh, look at all these other places you could go to. But they're not Battle and Brew. The concept behind it, totally different than anything else.
Yes, and even though there's some of the gamer places in Atlanta, they're just not the same.
No.
They're either like a 10th of the size, or they're not really actually a gamer bar. They're just...
It's like, we threw some video game arcade machines in the corner.
Pretty much.
So, yay, gamer bar.
And like... You know, then people are like, well, you know, Taco Mat kind of has the same atmosphere. I'm like, no thanks.
What? No. Dude, if you roll into Taco Mat, well, give it a couple years. And then when League of Legends on ESPN, you know, the championships on ESPN through the entire weekend, then yeah, Taco Mat, sure.
But until that time, old Redbeard is going to like throw his beer at the, you know, TV monitor. What is this crap on TV? Be a real man, play some real
And
sports.
we shall rise as one and smite that man to the ground.
Ah, you shall be smoted, indeed.
All right, anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it, and let's go right into the fact that, ladies and gentlemen, we are literally like this close to doing the 24-hour Game-a-thon on Extra Life.
That's next weekend, right?
That's right. Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Oh, man.
So next weekend, there will be 24 hours, 25 hours, because of freaking time change again.
That's not fair, man.
I know. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I will be attempting to play the entire time. However, I am going to try to convince Zealeus to perhaps tag in for a little bit and take over the Ultimate Confusion stream so that maybe I could get like an hour of rest.
Weak!
Fine. Show up for the entire 25.
Oh, I know I'm weak.
Yeah, exactly.
I fully meant this.
Okay, so Sam Grizzle says, sounds dangerous, load up on the dew. I've done that. I've gone through 18 Mountain Dews in a 24-hour span. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. It is not pretty. Because you get to a point where the caffeine no longer has effect. And all you're doing is you're filling your bladder. And the more you move around, the more exhausted you are because you're already exhausted. Because the caffeine has no effect, you have a better chance of falling asleep mid-step towards the bathroom as you would if you were just to stop at some point of drinking Mountain Dew. Because
Just don't be like me and make the terrible mistake of trying to pull an all-nighter to study for college and thinking even Mellow Yellow and Pixie Sticks would be the best idea ever.
dude, that is super crash.
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah, I super crashed. It was not a pretty sight.
Now, of course, I'm sure there's some kind of like supplements or extracurricular.
5-hour energy drinks?
I don't. Ugh, I can't do 5-hour.
Are you a trucker? You can get the 5-hour energy drink.
Oh,
No.
oh no, I can't do it. I can't Red Bull it either. I may be able to stomach one Red Bull, but it can't be a regular Red Bull. It'd have to be one of those flavored ones.
So you're saying is you're not going to do a Jaeger bomb?
I wouldn't do a Jaeger bomb anyways. I
You're
hate
saying there's
Jaeger.
Red Bull in it.
Oh my god, I hate Jaeger.
So on that Saturday, we have a robotics thing at 2:30. So my plan is I'm going to go to that at 2:30, and afterwards, come over here.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get into a little bit of the description or a little bit of information. No, go back to
Oh, I'm
Life.
sorry. I thought you were going on.
No, I did I say next story? No, I didn't.
It sounded like
Do I
let's
need
get
to
into
take
the show.
No, I said let's actually get into the mechanics of Extra Life. Extra Life, of course, is a nonprofit organization that raises money for the Children's Miracle Hospital. I can never get it right. Children's Miracle Network. There's a hospital, word of hospital is in there somewhere. Anyways, there's a lot of affiliates that feed into this network, and that of course means that there's potentially a hospital or organization that is local to you. For us in Atlanta, it's the Children's Healthcare Atlanta, which of course I have basically spouted from the mountaintops that I've been to Children's Healthcare Atlanta. My sisters have, my children have, so I want to help give back as much as possible. Now, I do want to outline a couple things. First of all, if you have the ability to donate, please just click on that donate button and all the money goes to Extra Life, and it's also tax deductible. Now, I know there's some people going, I'm still a little bit on the fence. I might be interested in doing it, but I might not be interested in doing it. You don't have to do the 24-hour game-a-thon. You can do it whenever. Also, I would like to emphasize the fact that this is a gaming marathon. Doesn't have to be video games. Could be tabletop, could be miniatures, could be, which I guess miniatures are tabletop. I don't know.
What constitutes a game?
True.
Could they challenge of watching Netflix nonstop without getting up from your couch? Because you're challenging something. Could that be considered a game?
A contest.
It's a contest, yeah.
Which would then be considered a game. So anyways, the main focus is to raise money for your local affiliate of Extra Life. So Alter Confusion, of course, Children's Healthcare Atlanta. I know we've already met our goal, but it would be phenomenal if we could continue to get donations for this cause. And once again, you can form a team or go solo anytime.
So many options.
There's so many options. Now, if you are really interested in doing Extra Life, but you want to, I don't know, try to combine forces, hit us up through any of our social media means, and I'm sure that we could probably add you to the Alter Confusion team.
Combine powers like Captain America.
No, Captain Planet.
That too. Captain America, he's also part of the Avengers.
Yeah, but he doesn't
I obviously
combine
did
powers.
mean Captain Planet, yes.
Anyways, definitely check out Extra Life. And of course, November 4th, technically Ooh, Sam Grizzle, I'm in for okay, you can do a Battlefield 1 marathon, and Zealeus will do a Destiny 2 marathon, and hell, I'm going to tell you anyways.
Fullback Defiance, we could all be playing first-person shooters.
No, what I'm going to do, I'm not 100% sure if I can actually pull this off, but I'm actually going to be, I'm toying around with the idea of doing a wheel of games. So a wheel that I spin, and where it lands is what game I'm going to play. Or I might go into donate to pick the next game, or maybe pick a specific piece of the game. Like if there's several different modes within a game, let's say for like Paladins or Smite, you donate a little bit, you can tell me exactly.
I like it.
And also what class type you want me to play as.
You should have for the wheel, you should have like one of like in Wheel of Fortune, you have like the $2,000 spoke is really narrow. You should have one like that. Like if you get the really narrow one, you have to take like a shot of Jack Daniel or something.
We'll see.
Just like the small.
Right. So anyways, come out, support us, tell your friends. I'm sure that some of your friends are probably doing this. And of course, at the bare minimum, please.
What time do you start
at? So November 4th, 2 a.m. to November 5th, 2 a.m.
Interesting.
So 25 hours because I go over that Saturday, Sunday line.
It might be easier for me to actually come before the robotics thing and give you like a little lunch reprieve or something. I'm just thinking logistically from my end. We'll see.
Well, anyways, Zealeus will be here at some point to help me out. So, help support Extra Life. Okay, now we could go into the
Are you
next
sure?
one.
I don't want to mess with your feng shui.
Let's do this.
All
Next
right.
story. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's this company called Atlas. Atlas has created some of the most phenomenal RPGs out there, JRPGs to be specific. And one of their crowning achievements is a game called Shin Megami Tensei. Now, a lot of people might not actually recognize that name. However, they would recognize the spin-off of Shin Megami, which I spelled wrong, Tensei, and that is the Persona series.
Ah, yeah.
Persona is the spin-off. Can you just change that? It's supposed to be Megami. Just right-click on it.
There you go.
Properties.
I can't see that far away.
All the way down.
There you go.
So,
What should it be?
Megami. Is
that right?
Yep.
Okay.
So anyways, so the interesting thing about this is that not only is Shin Megami Tensei coming to the Switch, but Shin Megami number 5 is going to be an exclusive for the Nintendo Switch, which is actually a humongous move.
So I think that's a pretty big deal for the Switch.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because, one of the big questions when the Switch came out was, can they get titles like this? Is it going to be like basically the Wii, where as popular as it was and successful, you didn't have a whole lot of interesting third-party exclusives. And now all of a sudden, you're seeing Shin Megami Tensei.
Yep.
And now they're giving their exclusive. That's a pretty big deal to really show that the Switch is holding its own against the other consoles, which I love the competition.
Yes. Now here's the interesting thing, though. So Atlas came out, I think it was in. They said that they were collaborating with Nintendo back in January, but they didn't really talk about what the hell they were collaborating with. Now they've revealed that it's Shin Megami Tensei number 5 exclusively for the Switch. Now the question that a lot of people are asking was, so what does that mean for if Atlas is doubling down on developing for the Switch?
Sure.
Does that mean they're abandoning what they were doing on 3DS?
I assume. Well,
and a lot of people are thinking yes.
Yeah. I assume most companies are.
And to be honest with you, what I've been basically preaching is that with the Switch being both a console and a handheld, and a lot of the companies literally cutting off the 3D part of the game because no one really plays
for years.
There's no reason to continue to try to keep the 3DS alive.
Pretty much. I agree. It's wise. The 3D, it overlaps the market segment, but in a much less popular way. Hello!
Hello, Mr. Craig Campbell!
Now, the real question is, could this possibly push Charlie over the top to keep a Switch in his household?
I already sold one.
But is you still have one left over then?
Yes, I do, but I'm going to sell it for big monies! Big monies!
So or you could sell it for your soul and keep it.
No.
And play the new exclusive game from Atlas.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, since we do have Craig Campbell in the crowd, it's kind of fortuitous for us to go to the next one. That, of course, is EndoCon! EndoCon is still kickstarting. I don't know exactly where we are. I think we're aiming for 7,000. We're at 6,000 now, maybe. I don't know.
Craig knows the numbers.
But EndoCon is a phenomenal convention. It's not video games, but it's gaming. It's tabletop, board games,
card games,
pencil and paper RPG, card games. It's very low key. It's like a buddy convention. March 9th through the 11th, 2018, in Atlanta, Georgia, in Peachtree Corners, Marriott.
Yep.
If you have the ability, go. And to get a better deal, kickstart today.
Today, right now.
I have already kickstarted. I've gotten one of the specialty badges. Zealeus, have you kickstarted?
I got a VIG badge also. And the other way, if you want to save a few shekels, is
Shekels?
shekels. The Biolons always say shekels. I don't know why, and I just yes. When I'm around her, you know, like around certain people, and they use like certain words, and you just kind of pick. That's why. So yes, you want to save a few shekels. The normal 3-day pass is $35, but you can do an add-on for $20 a piece for the 3-day pass. So what I did is I bought a few extras of the $20 passes. I'm going to scalp them outside of AndoCon for $30 a piece.
Attaboy!
No, a couple of people from school.
That's called frugal.
So a couple of friends from school, they're going to come with me. But not because I added them on for $20 a piece. They each save $15 a person. So if you also have friends who want to go, like, I don't know, man, $35 a lot. Well, let me tell you a deal that we have for you, too. And I know that they also just started allowing you to buy the $2 Kickstarter version pass.
2-day, not $2.
Did I say 2-day?
No, you said $2.
I meant 2-day. Thank you, sir. So the 2-day pass is now also...
2-day passes, $25, Saturday and Sunday. And also, there are a lot of interesting, but yet unannounced things that are going to be happening at AndoCon, so you definitely want to get in on that. Now, I know that not everyone can attend AndoCon, but if you want to help at least support a convention that basically rocks Alter Confusion, socks off.
My socks are
and
off!
And a lot of other individuals. If you have a little bit of money to spare, if you could just throw a little bit towards AndoCon so that everybody can enjoy an amazing experience. Now, I know that there is a discussion of a certain person maybe recording a lot of the sessions. I don't know. But, you know, now, and Craig has just confirmed in the chat room, they will have several special events in the works. I mean, they do have several special events in the works yet to be announced. It's going to be awesome. So seriously, if you have the ability to come to Atlanta, or you're in Atlanta or around the area, March 9th through the 11th, 2018, AndoCon.
What's AndoCon? I've already forgotten.
I'm Ando, and so can you.
Oh, there! Now it's come back. Thank you, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next story. And the next story is...
This
is really not all that big of a surprise. Lego has finally announced that they're going to stop production of the Dimensions line. Real quick, some of the special events that are happening at AndoCon have been discussed in the Kickstarter updates. So Kickstart today, and then you too will be in the know. So anyways, I still like this, the collectible figurines to play games thing has been kind of going out the door for a while. I mean, Skylanders.
Skylanders, that's
Skylanders done?
Probably not.
I don't know. Skylanders, you had Lego Dimensions, you also had Disney Infinity, and I want to say there's another one, but Lego has officially announced that Lego Dimensions is stopping.
Does that make you sad? Is this something you want to go play now?
No.
And see what you're missing out on?
No.
I'm sure I could get you one for Christmas. I'm just saying. Make you know what you weren't missing. Let's see here. Can I still purchase Skylander? Let's see.
Okay, so I know a lot of people, every single time you hear that something's ending, something's stopping, a lot of people immediately go, oh my God, they're going to close everything down. I spent all this money. For the time being.
Yeah, Skylanders is definitely still on Amazon.
Basically, anything that's already been produced is going to be sold. So it's not like they're going to pull everything off the shelf. Also, the servers will continue to run.
For how long?
Okay. They did not say.
Oh, that's convenient.
So basically, they're going to allow for for it to continue on. I would assume what they're going to try to do is you're not going to see additional characters or any additional gameplay, and they're probably just going to let this bad boy kind of like run its course. And when a certain number of players are left, or it dips underneath a threshold number, then they'll shut it down.
But that's always one of the pitfalls potentially of investing in these type of games, is because you have these physical objects, and once the game servers are shut off, probably a year or two from now, I'm guessing, is then all of a sudden it's like their value is no longer what it used to be. They've lost that value of being able to use it in your game. They no longer can.
Right. Well, the other thing is, and this is, it's really okay. So a lot of people kind of equate this to like the Rock Band / Guitar Hero problem.
Okay.
You have a lot of physical stuff
Sure.
that takes up a lot of space, both for retailers and also for the consumer. I have 3 Guitar Hero guitars, 2 Rock Band guitars, a drum set, and 2 mics that have been put in storage for a long, long time because I don't play the game anymore, and it's just a bunch. I mean, it's literally just littered. But if you look at a game like games like Skylanders, like Lego Dimensions, like Disney Infinity, where you basically could potentially collect 60 or 70 different figurines, that's a ton of space in your house.
Now, I guess the question is can these figurines be kind of repurposed as kind of collectible items, like a pop or something else to then put on your shelves as kind of like a, wall decoration? I mean, is that any different than your pops?
Okay, fine. Well,
depending on who you are.
All right, Sam Grizzle wants to point out that Lego Dimensions ages 7 through 14 on the box. Of course, basically children who won't swallow things. And there's probably some 14-year-olds out there who would still try to swallow it.
Nom nom.
Intuitive or creative individuals could probably find a way to repurpose those figurines. Maybe set up the perfect all-star battle of. You mean
like using your imagination like we had to?
Yeah.
What? No. I want my computer to do
I have to have it in a video game format. I can't make things happen out of my brain.
Now, to Sam's point, though, it's probably some truth in it, though, that let's say they stop production today.
Yep.
I'm going to assume that the attention span for these type of games for kids probably isn't extraordinarily long. And we're not talking a game that they're playing for 5 years. My guess is probably like a year or two, and then move on to the next big thing, right?
Well,
so in that regard, it's such a fast-moving type of video game where it's probably not like, it's not like if they're showing off World of Warcraft.
Right.
And it's like, oh my gosh, I have like decades in this damn character. Whereas Skylanders, these kids have already moved on to their next game.
Well, no, so I mean,
or Lego Dimensions. I'm sorry.
Well, right. Skylanders, Lego Dimensions,
yeah.
Disney Infinity. The thing is, it's physical DLC with every single character. When you buy a figurine, you unlock the character. If you buy like a special set, not only do you unlock a character, but you could unlock a new level or a new bonus level or something like that.
That would have been awesome, like World of Warcraft, and when you get like the legendary Thunder Fury, you actually like a sword in the mail from Blizzard. You have to like plug it in a USB port for it to like register that you have this legendary. That'd be awesome.
Sure.
Okay, I'm not feeling the love here. I think that'd be pretty epic.
I'm sure it would be.
Yeah.
Anyways, but so it's there's a gaming fatigue, and Zealeus has kind of alluded to it. You're going to get to a certain point where you're going to want to move on. Now, of course, there are going to be people who have. It's just like your in-app purchases. Once you hit a certain threshold of buying those figurines, you don't want to give up because you've already invested so much into it.
Sure.
Now, of course, there are going to be individuals who are finally going to be like, you know what? I've had my fun. I feel like I've played enough to satisfy the amount of money I put into it. It's time to move on. Unfortunately, there are going to be some people that end up in a very dark, deep hole where they're like, I spent so much money. Especially those who probably like tried to buy a bunch of stuff in the last couple months, and now they get this information.
But Lego Dimensions is probably unique in that it's not actually their money; it's their parents' money.
So is Skylanders.
I'm just saying, in a way, I mean, like World of Warcraft, that's probably an adult's money when it shuts down some distant future, if it ever shuts down. Versus
Farmville was the parents' money.
Yeah, I agree. Well, yes. Yeah, thousands of dollars whether or not they wanted it. But Lego Dimensions, when it shuts down, the kids have, the 13-year-old, they have no concept of the money they're spending in the game, most likely. That's really the parents' money who they're potentially losing out on. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I mean, that's where we're at with gaming. Even like, I've been playing Destiny 2, and right now everything we've been playing is basically single player, and they haven't had to interact with really other people. But at the same time, we all know that at some point in the future, the server is going to be shut down. Mm-hmm. And then even the kind of single-player stuff is no longer going to be accessible to me. Take it a step further, you have Diablo 3, which you can play entirely on your own entirely as private servers without ever having to see another soul in the game. And yet, once Blizzard shuts down those servers, you're SOL anyways because it's an always online game. And that's kind of where we're at with gaming nowadays. I mean, we've talked about it in the past, but that's where gaming is, and it's only going to continue to go with this whole online-only mechanism. Because that's what publishers want to do, because DLCs, constant updates, and piracy. So I'm interested to see what happens with that, but we shall see.
Yes, we shall see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move into something that has a lot of people, potentially a lot of people in an uproar. For some, they have no idea what the hell this is, but let's talk about it. NeoGaf, internet's biggest gaming forum, implodes and closes. Now, of course, everyone's going, well, how did it implode?
What's NeoGaf?
NeoGaf is the internet's biggest gaming forum.
I feel out of touch with life.
All right, so basically, NeoGaf was once upon a time a safe haven for like-minded individuals to talk about gaming and all the aspects and whatnot. This is actually one of the spots outside of 4chan and Reddit that was literally in the midst of that crazy thing that I will mention once and then we'll move on. Gamergate. Now, so why did NeoGaf close down this past Tuesday?
Why indeed?
Actually, was it this past Tuesday or no, last Tuesday?
Wait, it opened back up though.
Sort of.
Well, under a different mechanism.
Well, actually a different name.
Well,
well, so what's going to happen? What's going to happen is it's going to be renamed Reset Era.
My understanding was NeoGaf opened up and a bunch of people from NeoGaf left NeoGaf to go to this new thing.
Yeah,
so NeoGaf still exists, but all the people who actually matter left, basically, is my understanding.
Yes, all the moderators and admins left NeoGaf. So basically, it's a shell of itself.
Yes.
And literally,
it still exists, but people are going to migrate to this new one. What's it called?
Reset Era.
Yeah. And why was it that NeoGaf imploded?
Well, it turns out that the site's owner, Tyler Mulca, was exposed for sexually inappropriate behavior with a certain individual, a film director, where apparently the film director, who might have been a friend of Mulca at one point, was in an intimate setting of showering, and the gentleman decided to join her. And then, of course, that was like, what? So,
It's been a common theme for the last couple of weeks.
Well, once the dam breaks.
Seriously, man.
I've heard that there was a lot of toxicity and a lot of trolls that were starting to patrol NeoGaf anyways. I know that there was already kind of a start of the mods leaving, but this was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, and everyone was like, F this, peace out.
Well, that's any time you get these large online forums, policing them is almost impossible. Especially the negativity. I mean, I frequent Reddit a lot, and at least for me, the key in a large forum like that is finding the right subreddits. Like, I've enjoyed, I started playing, let's just take Destiny 2, and like the big Destiny /r is terrible. Like, it's just tons of toxic people. But there's another one with like 1/10 of the population, where it's actually interesting, entertaining discussions about the game without everybody flaming each other. And a lot of it's mass, critical mass. Once you start getting these posts of, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 comments, I don't care who your mods are, there's nothing you can do about it at that point. You're lost.
But the interesting thing is that that the vast majority of the individuals who were on NeoGaf and are either already on Reset Era or in the process of moving over there, everyone's going to keep the same screen name. So basically, if there was a mod that you liked, you can still hit them up. Currently, they are still in like the design phase of trying to figure out exactly how they want to moderate, how they want to build that, and they're doing it over a private Discord server. Now, of course, they're not going to tell. No one's going to say what server it is, because if you were to release that information...
Oh, my. Now, do you know if NeoGaf was... I know nothing about NeoGaf. I've never heard of it before. Charlie mentioned this to me. Do you know if it was kind of on the way downhill before all this stuff came out? Or is it just kind of this happened, and all the people are like, yeah, we're jumping
I think
ship.
this I think that in the beginning NeoGaf was a good place, but like then there started to be like little pockets of nastiness, and I'm sure that it kind of accumulated over time. But once you find out that basically the owner of this thing is associated with sexually inappropriate actions, you probably want to distance yourself as fast as possible.
Does anyone remember Digg?
Yeah.
I nothing inappropriate about the website, but it just reminds me of another really popular social website that, well, the difference with Digg is they just made some terrible website design and moderator, just terrible choices.
Kevin Rose sold the whole thing and then left in the hands of idiots, but he made bank off that.
Oh, I don't fault him at all. I would too. Are you kidding me? But like, just Digg was basically what Reddit is now. I mean, it's what everybody went to for, kind of the immediate news and talk about it. And then they made some design choices, and now people are like, what's Digg? I mean, that's what Reddit became. And that's, it doesn't take, I mean, it was like in a couple months that this happened with Digg, where it became like...
As soon as the sale was final.
And people just... So it doesn't take long for, something like this, like NeoGaf, or what happened to Digg. It doesn't take long for what websites think are huge and crazy big to just explode overnight. Take a look at Fox Sports. So Fox Sports, they used to get like millions of hits, and then they decided to do this experiment over the last month where all their news articles, but they don't have news articles actually, it's just videos. It's all it is. You go on there, it's video, video, video. And their website hits have dropped 90% since they implemented this due to this choice. So it doesn't take long for websites that were once popular to just let the bottom drop out, because a lot of internet viewers, myself included, if you're even frequent of website, if they make really bad choices or something isn't interesting, all you have to do is find one other website to replace that. Like, I used to be a very frequent Digg user, and then stuff happened, found Reddit, and I didn't go back to Digg again. And that's, people on the internet, we're very, I'm very fickle.
Finicky,
fickle, change our choice of where we visit due to whatever reason. It doesn't take much. And that's, it's also the gamble of, being a potentially stock owner of one of these companies and think you're going to do well.
So one of the things, like when you bring up Fox Sports, the best example, Fox Sports and ESPN are guilty of doing the same damn thing, and that is they're trying to appeal to the internet viewing masses. Fox Sports overstepped by basically alienating all of their existing fan base. ESPN basically left everyone in limbo by grabbing onto Barstool Sports and then dropping them after one show because, like, well, we wanted the name, but we wanted anything to do with what they do.
Gee, how did that work out?
Like I said, they got one episode and then they were done.
God. That whole thought process behind still ESPN for that just boggles my mind.
Oh,
like, how do you execs get paid that much money and like not know what you're getting into? Like, I just...
Well, no, they're very popular sports talking things. So like, oh, we can extend our viewer base, and then certain things came out about actions or thoughts or basically. Barstool Sports does not water it down. They're going to tell you stuff. It could be racist, could be bigoted, could be sexist. They're going to give it to you exactly their opinion, which for ESPN, who's owned by Disney, that's a big no-no. But it's cannot do that.
But it's like, did they not do their research ahead of time and realize, like, this might not align with our corporate synergistic happiness policy?
No, because the fan base or the viewer base of Barstool Sports is astronomical, where ESPN's starting to drop everyone.
True.
So they're like, oh, sports, really big. We need that so that they're no longer a competitor. And then once they had them, like, oh, what the? No, we can't do that.
ESPN is certainly feeling the pinch of cable cutters. That's for damn sure.
Everybody is.
Well, ESPN's the biggest. Because when they purchased the rights to NFL and SEC Network for billions of dollars, they're going on the... And the problem isn't that... You're right, other companies are, absolutely. The problem is ESPN's in these 10-year contracts now.
Yep.
On the assumption, so like if let's just say you're CBS, right? You have NCIS, that's year to year. So you can renegotiate and stuff.
True.
Versus ESPN, which is on the and I'm guessing at some point ESPN's going to probably try to renegotiate to be like, so about they're going to try. I'm not
No. What's ending up so what's ending up happening is that ESPN's getting a little bit more tricky with the packages that they're selling to cable companies.
Yep.
So basically, if you want a discount on getting all the ESPN channels, you get a bunch of trash Disney/ABC channels you don't want anything to do with.
Sure.
But in order to get for the cable company to get a better price on getting the core ESPN things, bye-bye. At some point, you're going to see, I mean, we're at the tipping point where a lot of the viewing is going online. I mean, it's already gone online. I mean, that's where I watch my stuff. All my ESPN stuff's through a streaming app. So
Same here. Yep. I dropped cable and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. So we'll see what the future holds. All right. Speaking of the future, let's talk about the future not being so bright for something that, Microsoft had a lot of love for.
I remember when many years ago when we wrote an article about Kinect actually, or Microsoft buying, I forget what the company was called, but the company who actually made the Kinect technology.
So
this is like 10 years ago.
It was the gentleman who was behind some of the Wiimote mechanics, and of course, Kinect back in the day was called Project Natal.
Oh, Natal.
And so they were thinking, okay, so you don't have to have cumbersome objects in there. You can move around in space. Of course, there was a lot of issues with that. If you didn't have enough space, if you had, say, animals or other individuals walking around that space, or hell, if you had a ceiling fan that was caught in the viewing scope of the Kinect, you could royally get effed over.
I never had this. That was my issue. I just never had the real estate space to be able to use it. And like, when I first saw the Kinect, I was like, this would be a great workout app. I love the idea. And that's like the original reason I got it. But especially when you started like getting down the floor and stuff, the tracking wasn't there what we were hoping for.
Right. And the Kinect that was bundled with the Xbox One was more precise than the 360 one. However, by the time that the Xbox One came out and said, oh, we've got the the Kinect already bundled in there, a lot of the developers had already jumped ship, so there wasn't really going to be that large of a library there. And we already saw that it was going to be gimmicky because of the 360 thing, where literally the amount of Kinect enhancement was you just screaming at the TV instead of hitting the A button. Fire the arrows!
Well, I feel like the other issue with the Kinect is I don't feel like Microsoft ever really had an actual vision with the Kinect. It was a reaction to the Wii. Is really what it came down to. It wasn't this innovative thing where Nintendo's or Microsoft was like, dude, this is going to be awesome. Let's do this Kinect. It's going to be revolutionary. No, it's because they're sitting in the boardroom looking at the Wii, be like, dude.
How the hell are they selling more than we are?
That's what it comes down to.
They've got motion controls. Okay, let's find something. I know a lot of people are bitching and moaning about the fact that the nunchuck cord is pissing people off, so let's do hands-free. Yes, that's perfect. Let's do it. But let's not really go into all the stuff with the developers. Let's not make sure we have a good catalog that goes with this. We'll just leave it up to the developers to use it, and most of them will just use the mic and not actually any of the camera features, which is where we spent all our money, was in the motion tracking. Oh.
But the library is very important because you look, going back again to the Nintendo, what did every Nintendo Wii come with?
Wii Sports.
Yes.
And the best game that was, one of the best games that ever came out for the Wii.
But people played the hell out of Wii Sports. I mean, seriously, I'm not exaggerating. And look at all the retirement homes that had it. But then,
exactly.
But then even look like at, what was it, Super Mario Galaxy? Is that what it was called?
Galaxy was good. Twilight Princess was good.
But you look at those first-person titles from Nintendo, and they fully utilized the whole motion controls perfectly. And then, like you said, going back to the library, look at the Microsoft. Where were their titles that fully utilized Kinect?
It was like Kinect games. We're trying to basically look like Wii Sports, but Let's do like instead of like baseball or tennis or bowling, let's do you're on a railroad cart.
Yep.
Where you have to dodge and try to touch buttons in different angles. And what was the other one? There was like another one where it's like you're bouncing a ball at different angles to like break dishes on the other side or something like that.
We know what it really became?
What?
The Dance Dance Revolution machine. Or Just Dance,
Dance,
whatever your dancing game is. Yeah, it was the Just Dance machine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it became. Just Dance to your Kinect. Which, you know, it works, but it's just, yeah, it was the reactionary thing. And, you know, it's kind of interesting to see that they're not going to produce anymore. But I think what it's also probably is because Microsoft sees that the next thing is VR.
Right.
So, I mean, yes.
And Sony's already there. Sony's already got their VR.
I mean, so they're starting off the Kinect, but it's really the HoloLens is what you're going to see coming out from Microsoft now.
Yeah.
Which one thing Microsoft's usually done well is hardware. You look especially like, I mean, their mouse is rock solid. Like, you can't break it. I love the Microsoft Sidewinder keyboard. It's a great keyboard. I don't plan on buying a new keyboard anytime soon as long as that thing is broken. It ain't going to break anytime soon. The original trackball. Like, I don't know if anybody ever used the trackball, the thumb mechanism. Microsoft's had a great one. Microsoft has a lot of great hardware over the years. The Kinect, I don't know if it was necessarily a bad piece of hardware, just didn't fit right was the issue. And the whole publisher issue.
Well, I think and we kind of touched on, I continuously touch on this when it comes to VR, is that it has to do more than just play games. Now, yes, you can yell at your TV, turn to channel 45. But of course, there were cable providers.
With the VR helmet on?
No, utilizing the Kinect. And of course, the cable provider's like, let's nip this in the butt and let's make it so that you can't control your TV through your Xbox One. You have to actually speak into your X1 remote for your Xfinity thing. I'm just saying for an example.
Is that why? Because you used to have your Xbox One in the living room. Mm-hmm. Is that why? It's because they basically nerfed the capabilities?
Yeah, they basically shut off the ability of the Xbox One to control any aspect of the cable box.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people bought it.
Right, exactly, because it would be cool. Hey, Kinect, please turn to ESPN2.
That is pretty neat.
But here's an official statement from a Microsoft representative. Manufacturing for Kinect for Xbox One has ended, but it's not the end of the journey for the technology. Kinect continues to delight tens of millions of Xbox owners, and Kinect innovations live on in Xbox One, Windows 10, Cortana, Windows Mixed Reality, and future technologies. So what that really means is the SDK that they utilize software development kit that they utilize for the Kinect is going to kind of go through some iterations and be enhanced for specific models and pieces of Microsoft hardware going forward. You're just not going to see this box thing going forward.
Have you ever actually used Cortana?
No.
Okay, neither have
I shut her
I was
up.
just curious.
What
is Cortana? What are you even using
I've had such a bad experience when it comes to dealing with Siri that I sure as hell do not want to deal with a voice-activated service.
But you use the Amazon Echo.
Yeah. I'm like, Alexa, give me my sports updates. And she gives me my sports updates. It's really simple.
Fair enough.
Siri, call my dad.
Do you use...
I'm sorry. I'm unable to do that right now. See, okay.
No, it's not call your dad.
No.
It calls the papa.
No. We've already gone down this rabbit hole. I'm going to continue to go. Look, here's the thing. Back when I was in high school, I'm going to date the fuck out of myself.
Back in the day.
Okay, I had one of those like old school like Nokia phones. It's one piece. The
Nokia brick.
No, it wasn't the Nokia brick, but it was close. And literally, I could hold down a button and go, for example, Zealeus, and it would call Zealeus.
I did not have that cool phone.
I had that. Now, if you go, Siri, call Zealeus. I'm sorry, you don't have an internet connection. What the F? Like, it's a simple voice command. I understand. Storage space is very precious. But if I want a voice-activated service, especially in an emergency, I may not have internet.
Yes, Siri definitely requires internet service.
And also, Siri, learn how to listen to words. I'm sure that this happened to you when I send you a text message and you're like, what the is that? It's because I'm so sick and tired of saying the same damn thing to Siri 4 times and having 4 completely different results. It's like, F it. If someone can't figure this out, they could call me and I'll just tell them.
I find Siri useful for 2 things. Texting while driving, because you shouldn't actually type while driving.
No, she never gets the shit right.
Well, this is true. Might be like, call me. The second is reminders. Siri, remind me to go home.
None of my reminders work.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be like, Siri, remind me at 3:30 that I need to do this. I'll be at 5 o'clock. I'll be like, ah, oh, damn it.
The reminders usually work for me.
No, they don't for me.
Well,
anyways, okay, let's
Siri's terrible.
Jump out of that rabbit hole.
They need to just like buy Amazon's like voice service.
Alexa. Or OK Google.
Yes. OK Google.
Google.
You can get Google Home for your car.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so, real quick. Amazon just announced this, and it's absolute bullshit. It's called Amazon Key.
No.
So what it is you have to have, you have to have like some sort of service with Amazon.
Yeah, well, you have to have Amazon Prime.
Oh, you have to have the camera. You have to have the security camera.
So what it is, for $250 is what it is. You have to buy the Amazon camera, and you also need the quick set or Schleg, I think, the key thing for your front door.
Yep.
And it's $250.
Yep.
So the deal is if you have Amazon Prime and you get a delivery, you have the option now to leave it inside your house. So what'll happen is, delivery dude comes in, you're not there, and it's not even like a one-time code. It's really just associated with the fact that you have this service, and they can now open your door, and the camera should turn on. Of course, technology is always should, not always. And the camera should turn on, so it's like, seeing their face and stuff, and they can put the box there. Now, there's one thing about the service that actually does intrigue me, which is why I would actually consider getting it.
I would never get it.
No, here's why.
Okay, go.
For $250, you will get both the electronic key set and the camera installed by a professional. Okay. I would never actually use the service. So when I say I would buy the service, I mean I would pay $250 because that's actually a killer deal to get both the door set and the camera installed and the actual hardware. I mean, just to have someone installed alone is going to be $200. So that's, to me, I'm like, that's actually intriguing just to buy for $250, but I'm sure as hell never using the service.
Because let's think about this. Delivery people. Sure, there's probably some delivery people you've seen a lot of, especially if you get a lot of packages. However, you are not guaranteed that the same person is going to deliver all your packages. So you're basically allowing a complete stranger to, at the bare minimum, take a quick glance at everything in your house. Now, let's take this a step further. In order for this thing to work and allow for an individual to basically put your stuff inside, that means you can't have an alarm on. Which means that your alarm system is basically null and void if you're expecting a package. So basically, you just made a huge vulnerability in your house where, okay, yeah, the delivery man can open up the door and drop the package inside so no one steals it. However, Joe Schmo, who's been checking out your house from behind, sees that the red light for your alarm is no longer on, breaks open the back window where there's no camera, and steals all your shit.
And what about pets? Like,
oh, that's right.
I have a cat. I mean, some random dude opens, guess, or you got Arlo. I mean, Arlo's gonna freaking not actually attack, but so they're probably gonna jump on the person. What happens if your dog scratches the person by accident?
What happens if they open the door too wide and the animal runs out?
Or they bite the person. Are they going to be able to sue you now for being bit by a dog? This seems like a terrible idea.
But okay, let's take it a step further. Let's say you have kids and they leave shit everywhere. And literally, the UPS guy steps 1 foot in to try to drop something and like steps on a Hot Wheel car and shatters his femur.
Oh, yeah.
I would have Amazon pay all the bills.
Now, what would make sense to me, actually, is have, like, an Amazon Vault. Where you could get, like, a lockbox. I'm going back to Al Gore, man. We're getting a lockbox.
A lockbox.
But
save the world.
So, like, a lockbox that, like, you can, like, attach to your house. It's like a fire safe. and this is like the code that they can
So
put
it's
the boxes.
basically like a Dropbox for
Amazon.
the postal service.
Yeah.
But for packages coming to your house.
But it's like secure. It has like a lock on it.
Right, like the Dropbox in front of a post office.
Yeah, something like that. Like that I could see. Like that, I'm like, okay, that I could get. You know, people get a lot of Amazon Prime service. That makes logical sense to me because it's
Of
not
course.
in your house.
Of course, I'd be the dick who's actually sitting inside. Like I know a package is coming, I'd be sitting inside, and when they try to push it through the slot, I'd push it right back out and have them freak the fuck out.
Nice.
By the way, my cursing like a sailor curb is done. I am so sick and tired of being like, oops, sorry, I cussed. Ha ha ha.
You just don't give a shit anymore.
No, I don't.
I never noticed so.
Well, I mean, look. The fact of the matter is, we don't get enough traffic through YouTube for us to be monetizing anything. So F it. We're not advertiser friendly to begin with because we don't have enough traffic. So me saying a couple curse words here and there is not going to change it.
no, I want internet traffic, maybe. No. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's actually jump into a topic that's a constant thing to talk about because the legality behind it is one of the things, and that is the ability to exchange in-game currency for real-world currency.
Now, can I ask you a question about
Yes,
this?
sir.
So, is it actually exchange? I'm thinking of like, let's just take the World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
You're not actually exchanging it to real money. You're exchanging it to basically tokens to be able to purchase real-world stuff.
No.
It's a very fine line, but it does exist. Or you're talking about
So
actually,
basically, you're saying like gold to like Bitcoin?
No, like, so take Blizzard. You're not actually like, if I get gold, like 100,000 gold to World of Warcraft, it's not like I'm converting it to $20 in cash. I'm basically converting it to tokens to buy my game card.
No.
Which is, so you're actually talking about actually exchanging to real world. Okay, go on.
So I mean, there have been games out there that have allowed for the transfer of currency of one shape or another to basically be taken from in-game into the real world. One of the examples, I don't know if they still do this. Hell, I don't even know if it's still there. But not Extra Life, Second Life. You're basically, you know, you're paying rent with real money in a virtual world, and you're creating a product that individuals in that virtual world could buy. That you could then you could grab that currency, that revenue, and bring it back into the real world. Now, of course, you know, you have It would be very interesting to see. I know that there's definitely games out there, like MMOs would be very dangerous, I think, because what you would have is probably a bunch of assholes that will break into individuals' accounts and grab all their epic gear, sell it, then transfer all the money from the sales over to their own profile, and then pull the money out.
Oh, yeah. You're always going to have the hacking in the games. I mean, there's no way to get around that, unfortunately.
And then, of course, remember, oh God, this is going to date us again, but once upon a time, there was this thing called Evercrack on eBay. And so basically, individuals were actually selling in-game items on eBay for real money. Now, of course, that's technically been taken care of, but that shit still happens to this day.
Bound on equip. Or bound on pickup. Sorry.
Yeah, bound on pickup.
And that was the big deal in World of Warcraft, because that's what I played a lot of. And, you know, the crappy gear was always BOP, so that to help eliminate that. But there was still, even when I played, there was still the occasional bind on equip stuff. It was mostly the crafted stuff, because it's kind of silly to be, you know, craft a level 200 sword that automatically gets bound to you once you craft it. Because what's the point? Because the whole point of crafting in MMOs is to sell. So there was some really good gear that I remember you could actually sell, and then that's the stuff that would go on eBay. I don't know if it's still a thing. I don't know. But when I was playing, a really big deal was also selling your character account.
Oh yeah, that's
on
true.
eBay.
Yep.
Now I think now that, because you know, back in the day, if I sold my World of Warcraft character, which I could have, like all I was selling was my World of Warcraft character.
Right.
So it would have been a big deal.
Right.
Whereas now, though, if I were to sell my World of Warcraft character,
You're selling your Battle.net, right?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So now And I think that also changed the. I don't think that was intentional by Blizzard. I don't think that's why they chose to do it this way.
However, it's a nice bonus.
It is a side effect. For now, I mean, the reality is, if you play World of Warcraft, you probably have licenses to some other Blizzard games. And so
just
really,
be very careful that no one takes away your Battle.net account. Because when you recover it, you have to produce a CD key for all the games that were on part of your Battle.net account. And if you can't produce those, then you lose access to all the games underneath your Battle.net account. I speak from experience.
Ugh, that's yucky.
I lost access to all my Blizzard games because someone stole my Battle.net account. I finally got it back, and then I couldn't play any of my games. Minus World of Warcraft because it had gone free to play.
Yay! You just have to have a monthly subscription still.
You don't have to.
For World of Warcraft?
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, the first 10 levels you don't.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, I did not know that.
The other thing
I can go level up a new character tonight.
No, the other thing that I think kind of maybe took a little bit of wind out of individual sales when it comes to purchasing a character is with the expansion you basically had the ability. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you basically had a fast track ability to basically pump yourself up to a certain level.
That's a good point because when I had my character in WoW, he was really well geared for the time. I could have sold for about $200 to $300 on eBay. And a lot of that was the time to level up and also do the rating. But to your point, though, is good is, now you can fast track it. I think it's like $60. And so, you look at the time, it levels still, the time to level up a character up to the top level is not worth $60. It's worth much more than that when you look at the time. So that was probably a good call on Blizzard's. And, it's kind of that, whole play to win aspect. But the way I look at it is I have no problem with being able to buy a level, let's just say 100 character, because you're just level 100 without anything useful.
Right.
Like, it's not like you've actually won anything per se.
Well, it's not like, because you fast track to level 100, all of a sudden you have epic raid gear.
Exactly. And I think, because that's what MMOers care about. They don't really care about the level they're at. They care about their eliteness level for their character, for the level they're at. So who cares if they get to level 100? It's really what power level or whatever you skill level, whatever they call it, for that game is. But going back to the original question, in-game transactions converting to real money is it just rubs me the wrong way. Like, I just don't like the idea of it. It just seems something strange. It seems like it can be manipulated. It just seems strange to me. I don't know.
So one of the things that I've heard, an example of maybe a better way of dealing with it, or maybe a partial solution is I'll just go with a Smite. You have favor,
sure, and
you also have gems.
Yep.
Favor is basically your everyday currency. Gems is kind of a rare thing you either get in a chest or you logged on in a successful straight days. So would it be more comfortable if you're playing like an MMO hardcore and you get awarded like a special currency, not the regular currency, but like a special currency, and then be able to exchange that special currency that you worked for instead of being, doing like transactions and stuff?
What about the other issue that was farmers?
Right.
Because, that's a big thing in MMOs too, is, there's sweatshops built up of farmers all across the world. Well, mainly one country.
China!
Yep. So you have farmers too, which I don't think that should necessarily influence the topic at hand, but that is the thing where you definitely have the farmers doing that. I just don't see the point, I guess, to me, in being able to sell.
I think it's just individuals want at one point there comes and we've talked about this in other ways is you get to a point where you feel like you've gotten your money's worth.
Yeah. But
if you had the ability to maybe start gaining some money back for continuing to play.
But I guess again, Diablo 3, I'm probably one of the few people in the world who didn't care about the real money market house.
That was, in my mind, it was way too dangerous. I was never going to get near it.
I had no problem with that. I'm like, if people want to spend real money in a game that I can play as a single player game for all intents and purposes, if people want to spend real money in a game and that's never going to affect me, why should I care? Like, that was my thing. I'm like, I don't care because it didn't affect me. And I love the auction house in Diablo. It was kind of fun to go on and to be able to buy like a crazy OP'd weapon for virtually nothing with not real money, but gold you just got in game. And people are like, oh, it made the game too easy to be able to, you know, buy OP'd gear and stuff. Guess what? You didn't have to even touch the auction house. It was a choice you made in the game. You didn't have to ever interact. And that's why I didn't care about the whole marketplace fiasco. It's because it didn't have to affect me as a player, because I played Diablo 3 as pretty much a single player game. So for me, I'm like, I don't care if people spend real money on a game. It just drove down the prices of the gold items for me to purchase. So I like the auction house in Diablo. It also gave you an opportunity to also see what other items were out there to get too. Because you could go on there and see all the items for sale and be like, oh, that's a cool item. I don't know. The interesting thing to me, actually, is that the government hasn't really tried regulating this too much.
Well, I don't think it's... I think it's not a big enough issue for them to regulate it. I think that if more companies were to buy into, you can basically exchange what you've gained in-game to real currency, then they would jump on that in a heartbeat.
Well, can you gamble in Second Life?
I don't know.
I wonder. Does that mean legalize gambling? I don't know. Just saying.
That is actually a very good question. I do not know the answer to that.
I've never played it myself.
Nor have I. I think I installed it once because I watched a CSI New York episode. I'm like, oh, this seems interesting. And I installed it. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I was like, you know what? I'll go back to playing a game.
And I'm guessing by then it had already been up for a number of years already.
Oh, of course.
Oh, Second Life is pretty old at this point.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into another story, and this one is going to be... Actually, no, this is a shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Fan of Greenville is right around the corner.
What?
November 17th through the 19th in Greenville, South Carolina, Big Fandom Greenville will have its second year in existence. This is the, to many people, this is the spiritual successor to another convention that was in Greenville and then moved and then went...
MonsterCon!
We don't say that name.
I'm not a part of we.
Yes, you are.
I'm not you.
You went to that convention. That horrible, horrible convention.
Well, I met great people at it. So
I know, it was kind of cool.
I'm trying to remember the good parts.
Yeah, okay, so anyways, Big Fan of Greenville, November 17th through the 19th. I believe tickets are still available. And of course, if you go there, you can see at least me and another Ultra Confusion person. We'll have a table, and of course, we'll be given panels. I'll be very interested to see if certain individuals have decided to throw their clients onto my panels this year, as they did last
So you
year.
had random people just show up in your panels last year?
It's like, oh, my agent said that I was supposed to be on this panel. I'm like, cool, been awesome if I'd known, but
surprise!
Whee! So anyways, Big Fan of Greenville, it's a lot of fun. It is in Greenville, South Carolina, and it's definitely something you need to check out if you're in the area.
Very nice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next one. And this, of course, is going to cause Zealeus to rage.
I'm already raging thinking about it!
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of games out there that are in the pro esports hemisphere. And of course, some of those games out there have two control options. They have the mouse and keyboard, and they have the controller. Now, if you notice, maybe I'm missing something, but the vast majority of the time when I see esports competition, almost all the time I see any esports competition, it's mouse and keyboard.
Because that's how real PC players
So
play.
the question is that by choice or is that a regulation for esports? And would you potentially allow for a gamer to choose between gamepad and keyboard and mouse if they prefer one or they're proficient on one over the other?
It's a good question.
Say for like Paladins. Paladins is definitely, I personally play with a gamepad. There's a lot of people out there who play with a keyboard and mouse. So if I were, I will never be a pro esports player. I'm way past my prime for that. But let's say that in some weird ass twist of fate, I actually make it into the pro circuit. Would I be able to continue with the controller, or would I be forced to try to figure out the mouse and keyboard, seeing that all my proficiency is in the controller?
I think it should be whenever the developer decrees is the allowable way to play that game. For instance, take Overwatch on the Xbox One. Blizzard explicitly says that Overwatch is not intended to be played with a keyboard and mouse
on the Xbox One.
or on the Xbox One, and if you're caught doing so, you will be permabanned, no questions asked. Even though on the Xbox One, you can technically use the keyboard and mouse.
Yes, a USB connection.
Correct. So in that scenario, I have no problem with the Pro Sports Xbox One version of Overwatch saying, you know, controller only, because that's what the developer decrees. But on the PC version, you can use both the keyboard and mouse and the gamepad. So as long as that's what the developer says is the approved way to play it, I see no reason with it, because in theory, when they're developing this game, there's not a tactical advantage of one over the other, because they're saying, and that's what they're balancing the game around.
Right.
Is the fact you can use both. So I personally, as long as that's the way the game was made to play, and like, you know, it's clearly in the options, keyboard and mouse versus controller, then I say go for it.
Well, I mean, for like example, like Paladins, if you have a controller attached, you don't even have to change a setting. All you got to do is basically, once you hit, all you got to do is hit a button on the controller, and all of a sudden your control will switch over to gamepad.
Okay.
If I then hit something on the keyboard, it automatically transfers back over the keyboard.
Ooh, so what about this? Maybe some characters you're better with one or the other. So,
Sure.
you know, have both the, you know, maybe with healers you're better with the keyboard and mouse, but fine precision, actually this is probably backwards, but fine precision you're better with, you know, using the gamepad. So depending on what you're having to do to help your character, you know, help your team out, you can go back and forth. That's...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally, and Paladins has a setup where you literally, on the character select screen, you could select a character with the gamepad, and then put the gamepad down, and then as soon as you load in, hell, you could just hit the button if you want to on the keyboard, or wait until you're actually in game and just start playing with the keyboard and mouse, and it automatically takes.
Okay. I should check out Destiny 2. I haven't tried using my, because I do have the wireless Xbox One controller. I should give that a try. Actually, I can't because, so funny story.
Do you have the dongle?
Yes.
Do you need a dongle?
Oh, you need a dongle, but have you installed the Windows 10 anniversary update yet?
I don't know.
Windows 94. It's midnight. So,
Oh, is that one that keeps going, hey, would you like to install now, or would you like a snooze, or change the time? So I chose a time where I wasn't playing anything, and that damn thing basically goes, we're restarting now. Would it be okay? I'm like, I chose a time in the middle of the night for you to restart. There's a reason why I said just restart.
okay, to be fair, Windows Update is an abomination against all things about computers.
Oh, God, yes.
It's
absolutely.
everybody can agree on this.
Yeah.
So, I have the Xbox One controller. So, I, you know, go ahead and I install the anniversary update last week, reboot, my computer starts giving me errors out of the wazoo. For everything like USB devices not connected, all kinds of stuff going on. I'm like, what the shit is going on? And so, you know, my keyboard doesn't detect anything. I can't click. I'm like, my gosh, like Windows anniversary update, you broke everything. Nope. It turns out if you have the wireless version of the Microsoft Xbox One that's made to use with the PC, the anniversary update broke it.
Fantastic. I do remember, I'm trying to remember what the hell it was. There was an update once upon a time, I don't remember what system it was for, that literally upon the restart, if you had anything plugged in other than a keyboard and mouse into the USB, it literally locked your system up.
Nice.
Like if you had a jump drive or a flash drive or whatever the fuck you want to call it in your computer, or maybe a gamepad, or maybe I don't know, just a regular USB thing that you
a camera.
Camera, or you know, it's literally the Apple cord to charge your phone.
Yep.
But literally it's just plugged in. It's not actually plugged into your phone, but it just being plugged in screws up your system.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
Yeah, sometimes the QA department, it's like, so guys, have you ever actually used a computer before? Just asking.
You don't want to talk about certain QA departments. I'm in QA, okay, but I've dealt with some very unique individuals with third-party developers.
Look at the QA for this damn thing from the last update. Good lord.
No, okay.
Like my iPhone's sometimes unusable time. Like I've loved like since the day when I got the iPhone 3G, I've genuinely really enjoyed my iPhone experience. But good God, iOS 11, it's terrible.
No, they did it on purpose. They're about to release a new iPhone. They're going to push you. They're literally shoving you to get a new phone.
It's terrible.
That OS, their OS, they've even come out and admitted that their OS updates actually bloat and slow down their older phones.
Yeah, it's...
That's not good business practices, you sons of bitches.
It's actually good business practice.
I know it is.
Anti-consumer.
Yeah, exactly. Anti-consumer.
Ah!
All right, anyways, so I think... I know people are, get a certain way when it comes to keyboard mouse on PC. That's the only way to play. And to be honest with you, almost every single game that I play on PC, I do mouse and keyboard, with the exception of Paladins, just because for some reason Paladins just feels better. Ow! Sorry, I just hit something that hurt.
Your body?
It's my knee. I jacked. I'll tell you later. With Paladins, I just feels more comfortable with the controller. Now, apparently, you could. I mean, I think you could play Smite with the controller, but I think that that's just absolutely ludicrous. I would never do that. There's not enough buttons on there for me to feel safe.
Don't you play Smite on the Xbox One?
I have Smite on the Xbox One, but it's a much more simplified mechanics than the PC. It's a fixed camera. You can't actually do the.
Interesting.
And you can't. I don't think you can actually change the camera angle as well. It's locked, and it's. I think it's just basically 3/4 behind you, and the camera moves with your character.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yes, and also the UI setup is different.
Huh.
But anywho, that Paladins is the exception to the rule for me. Otherwise, I think it's absolutely bizarre to watch people play games that are meant for keyboard and mouse. Yeah, there's some games
How
out
about StarCraft 2 with a gamepad?
Are you nuts?
Pretty much, yes.
No real-time strategy game should ever be attempted on a gamepad.
I think
however,
joystick.
However, that did not stop the developers of Halo Wars 2 going, oh, it'd be a great idea. Let's put Halo Wars 2 on Xbox One. I know Halo's War was just an absolute flop and basically closed an entire studio because no one could play a real-time strategy Halo game on a controller on a console. But let's try again.
I feel like World of Warcraft or StarCraft or something once upon a time was on a console.
Diablo. Oh no, StarCraft 2. StarCraft, I think.
I feel like
Diablo was on.
Diablo was,
and that apparently was terrible.
I heard that was a bad port.
I think it was original PlayStation.
But Diablo 3 was a good port from what I've heard. But I feel like one of the RTSs was also on one of the consoles.
Well, I know that Halo Wars was, but I don't know.
No, one of the Blizzard ones.
I would guess StarCraft would be my guess.
I don't know. Obviously, I didn't play it.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's finish this off the right way, and that, of course, is, ladies and gentlemen, there's a phenomenal thing called Patreon. Patreon is basically a way for individuals, patrons, fans, to give back to independent creators. Alter Confusion, of course, is an independent entity, and we survive on your love, support, and donations in any way that can be done. So if you like what we do on Alter Confusion, if you'd like to...
I like it.
Good. If you like to support us and allow us to go to conventions so we could do this stuff live and maybe even meet you in person, please basically sign up for Patreon. It is a monthly donation or pledge. It could be any amount of money. It could be $1 all the way up to whatever money you want to do.
$1 million.
And that's monthly. There, of course, if you do not feel safe about doing a monthly subscription, you can also do a one-time donation through PayPal. I believe it's a Donate Now button that's right down here if you're watching this on Twitch. If you're not watching on Twitch, you can go to www.alterconfusion.com, and there's a Donate Now button there. It's a one-time thing. It goes straight into the Alter Confusion funds, and that money is utilized for electricity at conventions and also the price of conventions, the upkeep of our equipment,
Gas to conventions?
Gas to conventions? Actually, I'd probably just take care of gas for conventions. It's probably really it's our ability to stay at the convention. So, you know, it's not like we're going to go to like the Ritz or something. We're basically going to find a hotel that allows us to get to the convention.
Probably the hotel that's attached to the convention.
Right.
Because most of them are that way.
Yeah. You know, that would be amazing to be able to do that. Like I've announced before, it's been a while since I've announced this, but thank you to all the patrons out there, all those individuals who donated at least once. We did raise enough money for us to cover all of Big Fandom Greenville. Hopefully we can have that success so we can continue to do at least Big Fandom Greenville outside of Georgia. Anything inside of Georgia is a little bit easier for us. Then we're basically only looking at electricity costs, which ranges anywhere from, I think it was like 70 to
120-ish?
120-ish.
Yeah.
You know.
Some high quality electricity.
Mm-hmm. But yes, so if you have the ability, that would be phenomenal. Now, if you don't feel like if you do not feel comfortable doing a financial donation, there's also other amazing things you can do to help out Altered Confusion. One of the biggest things and easiest and free things to do is help share the love. So when you see a tweet, retweet, like it and retweet it. If you see a post on Facebook, like it and share it. If you see a YouTube video, subscribe, like, and share. Also, on YouTube and also Twitch, there's a notification button that if you want to know the latest stuff that drops for Altered Confusion, you want that notification button on. So when we go live on Twitch, you get that notification. When we produce another video, hi Nudge, if we produce another video and load it onto YouTube, you immediately get that that update. So if you can, that would be amazing.
Indeed, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have reached the end of our weekly show. But have no fear. If you want to stick around in a little bit, I will start streaming some gaming. But we have met our time limit for our Thursday night show. So for myself and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week for another rousing round of the Thursday Night Hangout, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Merry kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.